victory. Oh, oh, love Liberia. Be your victory. Oh, oh, help Liberia. I pledge allegiance to Liberia, the shining side of Africa. God bless and prosper you, Liberia. Oh, raise your banner for the world to see. By His power you will rise, from the bottom to the top. You are the head and not the tail, Mama Liberia.
God bless Liberia, sweet land of liberty. In union strong, success is sure.
I pledge allegiance to Liberia, from Babolu to Maryland. God bless and prosper you, Liberia. He shall restore your lost integrity. By His power you will rise, from the bottom to the top. You are the head and not the tail, Mama Liberia.
Yeah. I am proud of Liberia. I believe in Liberia. So everything I do, I need to do it for Liberia. You can see nobody would not do it. They're not even China, the US or Nigeria. From the president down to the common man, everybody rise and show love to your motherland. Stop corruption, hate division. All my motivation, Liberia is my passion. That's in the top, put the hands on your chest. Bright, white, and blue, with the star we bless. No division, one people, one land we defend. From the coast to the hills, to the island ring loud. Be a patriot, stand, make a nation proud. Liberia forever, one love for all.
Hello, Liberians. Let us do our best to help Liberia from where it is to where they are to be. Fellow Liberians.
I don't know why you thought you found with me and you were fixing lady. Only time I want
To help Liberia from where it is to where they are to be.
Your video is delayed.
Fellow Liberians,
that brown testing
let
stuff
us come as one to live Liberia from where it is to where they are
You
to
hear your voice before your mouth shake.
Fellow Liberians, let us come as one.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the podcast of Action Require Media. Here we are dedicated to discussing hard truths and finding remedies for our problems. On this platform, we will stay engaged on all happenings in Mama Liberia, not limited to politics, religion, development, economy, security, crimes, war on illegal drugs, employment, youth, growth, and food production. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching and listening to Action Require Media. Here we educate, entertain, and empower. Ladies and gentlemen, please like and share our show. Please like and share our show. Today we're going to be discussing sensitive issue relating to Mama Liberia. And again, please join us if you want to be a part of this broadcast. Please reach out to one of us on the screen. Also, today we're going to be allowing people to call in and give their opinions on what happened in Mama Liberia. And again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Action Require Media. So at this time, we will go through our introductions, we'll do our opening prayer, and then we're going to go through our topics. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we will go through our introduction. At this time, I will turn it over to my brother Edwin Poor to introduce himself. Brother Edwin.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. You could have been anywhere, but you are watching the Action Required Media. My name is Edwin Sight Ford Jr. For the now viral name, because I was in Minnesota not too long ago, Ministry of Common Sense. Welcome to Ministry of Common Sense. We're not gonna tell you tabata. We're not gonna speak book. We're just gonna get to the point. Thank you guys.
Thank you, brother Edwin. Thank you, brother Edwin, for the introduction. And at this time, I would turn it over to Dr. Archibald B. Waller to introduce himself. Dr. Waller.
Yeah, thank you, CEO, and good afternoon, good evening, Brother Edwin. It's always good to share this platform with you. Again, hello everybody. Thanks for joining us. Uh, this Pastor Wallo. It's a great pleasure to be here. Looking forward to today's discussion. I hope you follow us to share the show as well. Send us your comment if you can, and we will be more than happy to respond to you. Again, thank you, CEO, for having us here, and thank you everyone for following.
Thank you, Dr. Waller. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I am Brother Joseph Brown, your host. So again, we're gonna be having series of topics to be discussed today. And again, we will put up the phone lines, and anyone who is listening and want to come and chime in, you can also call the phone numbers. The phone number is also on the WhatsApp. You can call, you can text, that's fine. But the phone line is going to be open. But we are here to discuss serious issue. Before we go into our topics, we will ask for our opening prayer, and at this time we'll ask Dr. Wallow to give us our opening prayer. Dr. Wallow.
Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we thank you. We give you praise. We give you the glory, Lord. We thank you for another opportunity to be here to discuss issues concerning the country that you gave us. Want to thank you, Lord, for our leaders. Want to thank you for your people, Liberians. Want to thank you, Lord, for our country. We pray, Lord, that you will use each and every Liberian to move this country forward. We pray for President Boakai and his cabinet ministers. We pray, O Lord, for the Speaker of the House of Representatives and members of the House of Representatives. We pray for the Vice President and the Senate. We pray, O Lord, for the Chief Justice and the judicial system in our country. We pray, O Lord, for all Liberians. We pray that you will bless Liberia. You will help our leaders, Lord, to lead us in the way forward. I want to thank you for our discussion tonight. We bless you, Lord. Whatever we discuss, Lord, may it bring glory and honor to your name. Thank you now. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you, Dr. Water, and thank you, Brother Edwin, for being here today. And also, we missed one of our brothers, Sergeant Montgomery. Should have been on today, but I think he went for some kind of engagement. I know he's going to be listening or watching. If he wants to call in, he can call in and join us on the show. And also our brother Brian Sly. Also, I think he's at a special engagement too as well. But again, Dr. Waller, thank you for being here today, and Brother Edwin, thank you for being here today, and happy Sunday to you guys. All right.
How do I sense a wet chicken event? It looks like a wet chicken. Go ahead. There's not gonna be a lot of disagreement today, but let's go ahead.
All right. So, gentlemen out there, join the Action Require Media panelist on this Sunday, which is August the 23rd. We're supposed to start at 4 p.m., but we're a little bit late. We are here to discuss fruitful and meaningful discussion about Mama Liberia. No tapata. Okay, is this is this a reset for the struggling nation of Liberia? That's one of the topics today. Will this lead to national rebuilding? Can this aid in uniting the dwellers of this nation? Now, elected leaders, national security apparatus, state actors, foreign actors are all under investigation um, with this drugs issue in Liberia. What can be done to protect Mama Liberia? How will you rate the Liberian National Police investigation? What would be your expectation for transparent and rigorous investigation? Ladies and gentlemen, come on and join us while we discuss these serious issues relating to Mama Liberia. As we all know, the biggest thing that happened in the investigation is the arrest of the former vice president and a senator for Bombay County, Madam Joy Howard Tiller, okay, was arrested and charged by the Ministry of Justice. And we're going to play the Ministry of Justice charges levied against former Vice President Madam Joel Howard Tiller. Now, let's people may not know who Joy Howard Tiller is, but Joy Howard Tiller is a former First Lady of the Republic of Liberia. She is married to Charles Taylor. All right. Um, Her husband ruled Liberia from 1997 until the time he was asked to leave Liberia. And again, she has been in high powers in Liberia, and she still is one of the leaders of the NPP party, and also now she's the vice standard bearer for the CDC party. Now, the arrest came when she was trying to leave the country to head to Ghana, but then she was arrested by the Liberian National Police while on her way en route to the Rabas International Airport. And again, gentlemen, these are very serious issues. Like I said, on this platform, we are not here to tarnish or tint anybody repetition. All right, everybody that is involved with this drugs issue in Liberia, right, stand a fair chance in the court of law. They are innocent until proven guilty. They should have due process. We are not here to tarnish anyone's characters. Okay, we just talk about the charges and move on, and then we go just going to give our own explanations and what we see coming forth. So again, um, gentlemen, we have two things here to do today. We're going to play the Ministry of Justice, leveling charges against Madam Joy Howard Tiller, and then we're also going to read a statement from CDC. All right. So at this time, before we go into the charges, I would like for us to go around by a minute. If you have anything that you want to say, just your opening statement, 1 minute each. Dr. Waller.
Yeah, CEO, thank you.
All
Thank
right.
thank you very much. Well, um, first of all, um, this issue of drugs, we have spoken about it so many times, and I think that is one of the things that concerns all Liberians,
Fellow Liberians, members of the
Sorry.
press, ladies and gentlemen.
Go ahead, Dr. Waller.
that concerns all Liberians, both at home and in the diaspora, that our country is becoming a transit point for drugs cartel distribution to other parts of the world, and that our government needed to step up to fight against um, drugs being transit in our country. And in the arrest of the former vice president, um, initially I really didn't know what to think about it because uh, most of uh, most of our government's action, not just this administration, but most administrations in Liberia, most of their actions is usually um, a result of politics, So I was thinking that this is part of the politics that people play in a country. But there are a few things that CEO that I think we need to be careful of, and that's number one: unrest is not equivalent to the person being guilty or being convicted, right?
Yeah.
That means she has to be processed to court, and the government has to prove that this person or the former vice president is guilty of the charges that was leveled against her. Let me just quickly go over the charges that the justice minister announced concerning her. Uh, it says what drug trafficking, money laundering, criminal conspiracy, criminal facilitation, solicitation, and other offenses involving importation, sale, distribution, and transportation of controlled substances. That was what she was charged with. And my concern here is, can the government prove that? Right? Can the government prove that? Because if this administration cannot prove that the former vice president uh, is guilty of these charges, it's going to hurt them big time. It's going to really, really hurt them big time. So that's my initial thought. I will talk about the way that she was arrested and my thoughts concerning that. But
Okay.
that's my initial thought. The
All
government
right.
need to prove that. They need to prove that.
All right. Brother Edwin, opening statement.
I would say this is unprecedented for our country, even with the history that we have with Liberia. This is not a precedence for Liberia. Um, we're used to corrupt people. We're used to people covering up for both sides, corrupt or not. There's one way legal thing that you have to charge the one side, but you cannot look inward and charge anybody that's aligning with you. My take is they better have proof. They better have proof. It's either we're looking at a sunshine after a heavy rain, or we're looking like a very dark situation because they better prove it. They better prove it. They better have something concrete. If they're doing this to tarnish the reputation of Joel Howard Taylor or to stain her reputation, this is not gonna end well. The good news about this, we're not fighting again. We're not taking up guns. So we're doing it through verbalization and stuff. That's the good news. But they better have proof. That's my
Okay.
my opening statement.
All right. So, gentlemen, let us hear from the Ministry of Justice. Okay, I'm gonna play the video. I think it's about 6 minutes long, and I think it's worth for all to listen to. And then we'll go into the discussions. Okay, so let me play this video real quick. Oh, come on. Give me a second, guys.
Fellow Liberians, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Justice, must inform the public that former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor has been formally charged in connection with the ongoing investigation into an alleged transnational narcotics network operating within and beyond the Republic of Liberia. But Howard Taylor was stopped from departing Liberia at Roberts International Airport and subsequently taken to the headquarters of the Liberian National Police. Following investigative procedures and review of the evidence presented by the Joint National Security Investigative Team, she has been charged with the following offenses. Under the Controlled Drug and Substance Act of 2023, violation of Section 14.83, unlicensed importation of a controlled drug or substance. Violation of Section 14.85, unlicensed sale, trading, administration, dispensation, delivery, distribution, dispatching, transit, and transportation of a controlled drug or substance. And violation of Section 14.93, illicit trafficking of a controlled drug or substance. Under Chapter 10 of the Penal Law of Liberia, violation of Section 10.2, criminal solicitation. Violation of Section 10.3, criminal facilitation. A violation of Section 10.4, criminal conspiracy. Terrorist financing law, violation of Section 15.2, money laundering. The government further announces that the following alleged members and organizers of the same transnational narcotics network have been similarly charged in absentia. 1. Nicolas Avensi, a Croatian national. 2. Behovil Grovic, a Croatian national. And 3. Tara Zeriko, a Ukrainian national. We have the pictures here for your information. We'll be circulating them to the press. The Ministry of Justice will pursue all lawful domestic and international measures necessary to locate, apprehend, and bring these defendants before the courts of the Republic of Liberia. Meanwhile, former Deputy Director of the National Security Agency for Administration, Mr. Gerald Smith, has been called in for questioning in connection with the same investigation. These actions represent a decisive stage in the government's determination to expose and dismantle this network from its roots. We identify and pursue its leadership, financiers, facilitators, transporters, operational coordinators, institutional protectors, and every person who knowingly assisted its activities. No office is too high. No political connection is too powerful. No nationality provides immunity, and no individual is beyond the reach of the law. Transnational narcotics trafficking is not an ordinary criminal enterprise. It is a direct attack upon our national security, public institutions, economy, and the future of Liberia's young people. Any organization that attempts to corrupt public officials, penetrate state institutions, or transform Liberia into a transit corridor for illicit narcotics will face the full and lawful authority of the Republic. Our objective is not merely to seize narcotics or arrest low-level operatives. Our objective is to dismantle the entire criminal infrastructure, its leadership, financing, logistics, protection arrangements, and international connections. We will follow the evidence across institutions, political boundaries, and national borders. There will be no selective justice, political protection, sacred cows, or compromise with organized criminality. Every person against whom credible and admissible evidence is established will be investigated and prosecuted with all fear of political consideration. The government nevertheless emphasizes that criminal charges are accusations and do not constitute judgment of guilt. All defendants remain presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty before a court of competent jurisdiction. They are entitled to legal representation, due process, and all constitutional and statutory protections guaranteed under Liberian law. This remains an active and sensitive investigation involving multiple individuals and jurisdictions. The government will therefore not disclose information that will compromise ongoing operations endanger cooperating persons, or prejudice judicial proceedings. We urge the public, political actors, and media institutions to avoid speculation, intimidation of witnesses, and the publication of unverified information capable of interfering with the investigation or undermining the administration of justice. Let there be no misunderstanding. Liberia will not be surrendered to drug traffickers or to those who enable them. We will uproot this network, sever its financial institutional support, pursue its members wherever they may be found, and bring every culpable actor before the law. Further information will be released when legally and operationally appropriate. I thank you.
All right. All right, gentlemen. I think you guys heard the minister of finance, the minister of justice. Um, hold on, let me turn the thing off real quick. All right. I think you heard the charges levied against Madam Joy Howard Taylor. This what I would say from what I heard from this um, charges. It sounds like somebody who is confident of evidence they have gathered to make this arrest. They must have believed in the evidence or things they have gathered to be able to make this particular arrest at the particular time. It sounds so confident that they know exactly what was happening. Okay? Now, for the credit of the Liberian National Police and the Joint Security, all right, um, I would give them a 5 stars for the work they are doing. I don't think they are being intimidated by anybody, regardless of who you are. Okay, right. We can argue the fact of how the process was, how it was done. That's another way too. We can argue that too. Okay. Now, was she treated rightly during the arrest? Now is another thing to talk about. But with the bold action of arresting people, all right. If you listen to him, he did talk about the investigation is to bring down all those people that are involved into the drugs saga in Liberia. Okay, the criminal network is to dismantle the entire criminal network, be it foreign, okay, state actors, whoever are connected will be brought to justice. And I think it should be, like he said, they will be given the fair chance in the court of law to prove themselves not guilty. All right, it's a burden of the government to prove that everyone that has been arrested, to prove them guilty of a crime. Now, uh, I will stop right here for now. Look, it did not just end with the former vice president. He also brought in Croatian national, and he brought in Ukrainian national too as well. So two other people were added. All right, and there are some informations he's not giving out because it might, you know, uh, kind of like mess with the investigation. So I think I think here is we want Liberia to be a free or drugs free nation. All right, and nobody should be above the law, regardless of who you are. Is country above everybody. All right, I will give you guys a minute or two. Let's hear from you guys. What do you take from the video, Dr. Waller?
CEO, thank you again. Look, oh, maybe you guys could have forget. We have seen this before, okay? And I want to be very careful with how I discuss this issue. The former speaker Jay Fonanti Kofat's case, right, where the police came out in a press conference, they said they had overwhelming evidence that tied Fonanti Kofa and his culprits to the crime. Okay. The same press conference the justice minister is giving, right? The police IG had a press conference, to announce that. And today that case hasn't been resolved yet. They don't have the evidence to prove that Fonanti Kofa was the one who carried out the burning of the Capitol. That case is still in court. Now again we are hearing, they have evidence. Here's my thing, CEO. Look, the way the charges are read, besides the conspiracy, the facilitation, and solicitation charges, but the rest of the charges, it seems, the way it is read, it seems like former Vice President Joa Howard Taylor is the one that is doing the distribution. She's the one that is doing the selling. She's the one that is doing all of this. And I'm telling you, where I said they can't prove that. They don't have the evidence for that. They can't prove that. So that people understand exactly what I'm talking about. Association with drug dealers is not enough, okay, to tie somebody to a drug crime. Okay, let me give an example, right? Just for example, CEO, uh, my brother Edwin, okay, God forbid, Edwin is a drug dealer, okay, and I know Edwin. Okay, I I attended meetings with Edwin. I have business deals with Edwin. Edwin and I said we share some kind of business. We are in we attend meetings together. Okay.
Okay.
That does not mean that I can be charged with what Edwin does. You will have to prove that I am connected to what Edwin is doing, or to the Edwin is doing to the drug dealing that Edwin is doing. Just by me knowing Edwin, or going into meetings with Edwin, okay, having business transaction with Edwin, does not prove that I am a drug dealer. Okay, but what I could be charged with is if I help Edwin, for example, to provide warehouse for his cocaine, or provide transportation, or to provide protection for the consignment, the consignment of cocaine. Then I can be charged with conspiracy, facilitation, and stuff like that. But besides that, they don't have proof. The only thing we are hearing is she had meetings with these people. She had a phone interview with the people. We have a video that she knows these people. That's all they have, and that alone is not enough. If this government cannot prove the overwhelming evidence they have on this woman, it's going to hurt them bad. Okay, it's going to hurt them bad. And I hope they know exactly what they're doing, because everything we are hearing at this point, I doubt that they have the overwhelming evidence for the crime they have charged her with.
Okay. Think about the water, brother Edwin.
Thank you, Brown. I'm indecisive when it comes to this. I'm indecisive because I'm being judicial, right? I'm saving, a room for both sides. These charges levied by the government, or alleged by the government, they are very serious. These are not minor charges. Now that the water said is as if she was the one dealing the justice stuff. When it comes to the drugs ring, the most potent person is the mastermind. It's not the petty people that are distributing the drugs and taking it to places. It's who aid, who enable for all the connection to take place. So that's how they're gonna see it. On the other hand, if this government cannot prove or will overlook or underlook what it just stood in front of the camera and said, again, we're heading for darker days. They better have a backing of evidence. This is a risk because we're under the spotlight of social media. Everybody has camera nowadays. It's not back in the days where you can just go lie on people. They better have that. What I also sense is where these people are getting all these evidence and stuff in the background, I sense a little bit of hand of the American government in the investigation of Joel Howard Taylor. I sense that since the guy charged it up and they don't want to make sure anybody around charged it up, because the people have a long game. I sense that they are providing the info and intel to the government, and the time is now. Again, all of these things don't have to be true. It's the propaganda that matters. Reputation is currency for people that are elite, that are higher up. If they can stain her reputation, if they can stain her way of doing things to the population, they won. She doesn't have to go to jail. Charges can be dropped, but the job is done. If they can stain Joel Howard Taylor because they don't want her in politics. That's what I'm looking at. These charges are very serious that they're trying to levy against us. I pray to God the government has evidence. I really do. If they don't, they're in for big trouble. That's
All
how I'm
right.
gonna start.
All right. Thank you, brother Edwin, and thank you, Dr. Waller, on this issue. I think with the Liberian government and especially the Ministry of Justice, whatever they did on that day to pronounce these charges against our former vice president and former first lady of Liberia, it's not in doing, it's not to hurt the political party. What it did internationally, it has stained Liberian government way of doing things. Now, Liberia is out there now. A lot of countries will find out what is happening. Now, it's all on social media. People are talking about it that the former vice president of the Republic of Liberia has been charged with cocaine allegations, with money laundering. People are all talking about it. I would say it could be done in good faith that other state actors who have contributed and are still contributing to the damages or ailment of our country and especially the youthful population. All right, Liberia as a nation, right? What could happen? Smuggling, taking illegal substances and putting it on a millions of dollars plane, billions of dollars plane, airlines that could ruin our relationship with these airlines. So I think we should be very mindful and careful on how we look at these issues. I give you a good faith. I think what's happening right now is done in a good faith. I think everyone, like I say again, everyone who has been charged, they do have a due process in court. is a burden of the government. It is a burden of the government to prove that these people are guilty. All right, and and like I say again, I would give it, my 100% and say, let the Justice Department plays its roles. It should be free from politics. All right, let them do the right thing to protect the country from foreign and domestic enemies. The country has suffered since the beginning of the Civil War. Liberia has seen the influx of illegal substances in the country. It has mentally derailed. It has mentally caused a lot of issues with our youthful population. We have never gotten out of the use of drugs for all those years or decades that those drugs were being used. Look, I really want to take politics out of it and trust the system. And that can be done if we have international help. That can be done if we have the right people doing the right thing rather than scoring political points. All right? We will go and talk about how the arrest was made because a lot of
Before you
people
do
are
that,
making it political.
can I say something quickly?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you on trusting the system, but you have to validate the system. You have to question the system for you to trust the system.
Sure.
This is not the first time government, reading out charges on individuals, most especially in in the opposition. This is not the first time. Okay, CEO. My comment is coming from a history of this government levying charges on people they don't have any evidence of. Okay, the administration have a lazy justice department. The Justice Department have never won any meaningful case since the inception of this administration. Okay, now they have read these charges on this woman. Let me tell you what the government need to prove, what the prosecutor need to prove. Okay, they need to prove knowledge and intent. Okay, combined with her conduct. See that woman down there. Has she ever done anything? Her lifestyle, have it ever proven that she is a drug dealer? Okay, let's take politics out of it. See her. This is a woman that was recently crying for a pension. She was crying for pension recently. Okay, they have to prove that she had knowledge and she had the intention to sell, to distribute, okay, cocaine. They have to prove that. Okay, and what we are hearing so far is that she took photos, she had meetings. Okay, they put her in a private jet, they took her to Dubai. Those things are just, it could be social association. Those things are not enough.
But Dada Wallo, some of the things you just mentioned, has it been stated by the Justice Department?
Like what? Like some of
Like
the
you just
things I
said,
mentioned,
she
like
she
what?
has she was taking photo with a large cocaine dealers. She was flown to Dubai. Like I said, are those statements from the
No,
Justice Department?
let me tell you something.
No,
Not thinking the government is confidential. Okay, they
okay,
have
no, I'm
meeting
just I'm just
today.
asking
No, but let
because
me tell you now,
I
they
heard the
can have
same thing
meeting this,
myself. I didn't
they
want
will
to
have meeting this
capitalize on it.
afternoon within 5 minutes. Stand up what husband will get the details of that meeting. Nothing is confidential in the government. They
Okay.
put out everything that they do. Okay,
All right.
they leak out everything. There is nothing confidential about this administration. They leak out everything. Okay, if they have evidence, we'll see it. Now keep this video today. They don't have evidence to prove her knowledge of or intent to sell or distribute drug. They don't have. They will have to prove that though. Okay, they
All
will
right.
have to
So
prove that.
let's do this before we get to CDC statement. Okay, let's do this. All right. I just want to ask fewer questions here so we can go forward. Right. All right. So, brother Edwin. All right. How do you see the Liberia National Police investigation into the drugs issue? Is it positive or negative for you?
Well, it's positive. Depends if they're saying the truth. If they're orchestrating
But
something against their party that they don't favor,
Someone is
they're
talking in
con-
your mic,
if
Edwin.
they're huh?
You have voices in your mic.
see, you muted yourself.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
I mean, the baby can talk about it. Go ahead.
No, no, but if they're concocting evidence or they're trying to pit something against the opposition, this is not good. I have never seen a systemic, rigorous uh process in our country. We all talk about the drug situation the other time. They have all these things about they have money, but they can't buy the scanners, they can't even get dogs and stuff. Then all of a sudden, when it comes to Joa Howard Taylor, now they have everything. Then all the people that are on that side, uh, no investigation going further. So the thing smells, it stinks. That's what I'm saying. I'm praying to God that they have evidence. They have a backing of evidence because this is
Okay.
gonna go dark. It's
All right.
gonna go really dark.
Let me let look at this in a different way, right? And I will come back to you. Like I say again, I'm not looking at anything being political here. All right. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the system being fair. That's how I'm going to judge it until political
Is the system
motivations come
fair?
out. I'm coming. That what I'm looking at is being
Let me
fair
just ask you a question
until.
from the get go. Is the system fair? For what you have been seeing about the investigation, is it fair? Here
Well,
is Gabriel
s-
Coleman, all of the
so
men around him. Here is the IG, all of the men around him were charged. Where are they today? The president's son had a video conversation with drug dealers. They posted it. He never been called to police station to be asked any question. Is this system fair?
well, like I say again, I'm not part of the investigative body, so I don't know what
No,
system or processes they're going to
for what
use.
you know,
But
you said you are looking at the system being fair. I'm asking you, is this system fair?
okay,
Is
so
this a fair system?
I would say yes to a extent. This is what I would think. You don't
Then you are
know,
very biased. Then you are
but
very,
listen
very
to me
biased.
now. Listen, let me make my point. Let me make a point. I think we don't know whether these guys gonna be arrested. We don't know what they are planning. Okay, we are not part of the department or the joint security who are making the calls on who gonna be investigated ASAP. All right. Look, the president children could be investigated next. They could get arrested next. You don't know. That's what I'm saying. I will leave it yet and hoping that it is fair. It's not political motivated. Okay? Let trust the system until it is proven in court that the government cannot prove the intent. All right? If they don't have the document to support the intent or the accusation against those people, the brother, like the vice president, then we can say yes, it has been politically motivated. But for now, I think the system let us let it play itself. Okay. Now, when I ask the question, to me, I would say we have asked right the government to make arrest. Okay, and you guys are doing the best to make arrest. I understand people think is laying on one side, but we don't know yet. The investigation is not over. It is not over.
Brian. I think this is a show where the two people just chuck the moderator towards the wall because that's what you're heading right now. This government has been not fair on everything leading up to now. So only this situation you're saying the system is fair. Are you
Well,
kidding me?
no, but
This
listen to
government
me.
has never done
I
anything that
think,
is fair.
I
This
think, but
government have people in the government that say we're gonna buy for the, we're gonna go over the budget, we're gonna buy our car. People have all the corruption stuff going on. Only this situation they're gonna be fair. Are you a judicial
okay.
person?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you
No,
another water question.
can I also say
No,
something?
Tata, well, let me ask both of your questions. Okay, go
Quickly.
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So you talk you see you're talking about the system being fair, right? This system is very partial. Okay, nothing is fair. To me, the arrest of former Vice President Joe Howard Taylor, to me, is just a distraction on what the real issues are. What they are talking about, the pictures and the connection and everything they are talking. You know what year they are talking about when they were in power? It's not a recent something. What is happening today? Okay, let me tell you something. It was announced, and Gregory Coleman himself admitted that the cartel gave the Liberia National Police a Starlink. He admitted to that. Okay, did anyone call him for investigation? Did anyone question him for that? Now, the Liberia National Police received Starlink from a drug cartel. Do you know what that means? Do you know the implication of that? You received Starlink from a drug cartel? What else did you receive that we don't know about?
All right. So,
Hold on.
so
Let me end.
go
See,
ahead.
let me end, because where you are going with this, I know where you're going with this. Okay, it's Joel Howard Taylor, so it's fine. She's a big fish. Liberian people been asking for us to get them big fish. Now we give them big fish.
No. No. That's not how I'm
That, that,
thinking.
that, that is
No,
that is exactly what's going
no,
on.
no.
Gabriel Commons number two.
That's not what I'm thinking.
Gabriel Commons said, how profile government officials in this government know about the drugs issue. Have anyone called Gabriel Commons for questioning? Have anyone asked Gabriel Coleman the statement that government or senior government officials know about this drug issue? They are involved with drugs issue. Where does that mean? What do you mean by that? Who are the government officials that are part of this cartel? Anyone
Okay.
ask Gabriel Coleman any question? But
All right.
today,
So,
the president said Gabriel Coleman have his confidence.
all right.
Okay, for
Okay.
Gabriel Coleman continue to fight drugs. This is
Tata
a
Walla.
very partial system. A
Tata
very
Walla.
partial, very partial. If
All
nothing
right.
is fair.
All right.
And
Let me let me
let
let
me
me
let
let
me
me
add
let
to
me let
this.
me say this.
Let me add to this, Dr. Waldo. They're accusing Joel Howard Taylor of aiding and abetting these cartel or their cartel associates of her issuing diplomatic passport to them. But the diplomatic passport was issued on George Weah administration. If the diplomatic passport is so active today, who fault is it? Who run foreign affairs right now as we speak?
But Edwin, they said they call
If it's
back
not
all
canceled,
diplomatic passport. When
if
they
it's
took
not
power, they
canceled,
said the foreign minister said we call back all diplomatic passport. We
yes.
will cancel all diplomatic passport. We will reissue diplomatic passport. So there is no question about anything. Okay, no question about anything.
All
They
right.
just
Let
want
me
distraction. That is my issue.
Tata
I'm
Walla.
waiting for the same to quote. Let her provide
Tata
the
Walla.
evidence that she is a
Tata
drug
Walla.
dealer. She
Tata Walla.
distributes drugs. She sells drugs. I
Tata
want to
Walla.
see that.
Tata Walla. It's not my. It's not of my opinion, or it's not my intent that uh, I'm not looking forward to seeing the former vice president being charged. That's not what I'm looking at. What I want,
Brian,
and I
we're not
think
accusing you
every,
of that though.
I think what every librarian
We're
wants.
not accusing you of that. That's not
I,
what
I know, I
you
know.
try to
You got no.
insinuate.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying you
I don't
guys
know
We're not
are,
we're
why
not
you want to take the
insinuating
government place. We talk
we're
to the
not
government, not
insinuating
you.
that you want
but
Joe Howard to go to the president or stuff like you bargain. We're not trying to insinuate that. We're just trying to fence this
Okay,
because
but
we're trying
Edwin,
to be in a
but
judicial system.
but
You
okay,
gotta be in the
okay,
middle.
Brother Edwin, and Dr. Wallow, let me ask you guys a question, and I want you guys to be very clear, because I think people are listening. And the question to you and Dr. Wallow, right? And it goes to Dr. Wallow first. What would be your expectation for transparent and rigorous investigation? What would prove to you that whatever the joint security investigation leads to, what would be transparent to you?
I think that's a fair question.
Yep.
Independent investigators. The government cannot investigate itself. There are people in the government that have already been charged. Independent investigators.
Okay.
Let them when the fire thing happened at the Capitol building, they brought independent investigators, right? Let them bring independent investigators. Let independent people investigate this thing, so we can go to the bottom of it.
So, but the independent
Let
investigators.
independent people do it. It can be
Let me.
Liberians, but I need independent. It can be the government. It can be the government. If we want to
Let,
get to the bottom of this, if the government is serious to get to the bottom of this, call for independent investigators to take control of this issue. Then now we are serious.
all right, Edwin. The same question goes to you. What would be transparent for you, and what is your expectation of transparency that you think will be carried out by the investigator to make sure that everything meets your satisfaction?
I'm gonna shock you. You're not even thinking about it right now.
Go ahead. That's what I want.
Precedence.
Okay.
Precedence.
All right.
The way you treat the investigation with a market woman. So you build character that way. The way you treat Bucket Raw when you brought a camera in front of him. Some people can trust you before the independent investigator come in. Nobody trusts you because you've been sold one way. Nobody trusts you. You don't have a precedent. You don't have an established character for people to trust you. I don't trust you. Even when you bring independent investigator, I would think they're rigged or they're paying you. If you're collecting $5 million from the American government for you to bring 1,200 people into your own population and start introduce them, I don't trust you. I read it down. So
Okay.
precedence. I need
All right.
precedence. I need a
So,
precedence for something. What did you investigate? The whole fisherman stuff. What did you do? I want to
so
see that. I
Edwin,
don't want
let
to
me
see other stuff.
let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you another one. Would it be fair to say that this investigation that is going on, every politician, every political parties need to put their hat aside and want to find out why the drugs influx in Liberia is derailing the country? Will you want to see that? We put our political parties aside and work together.
That's why we are calling for an independent
Bro,
But
investigation.
but before
If
yeah,
that
we
but
want to
like,
see
happens,
that,
but before that
it,
happens,
no, that's what we want to see. That's why we are calling for independent investigation. Okay,
okay,
because we want to get to the bottom. Now, this is an opportunity being provided now. Call for independent investigation so that the result of that investigation, if not 100% of Liberians, majority of Liberians will trust it.
all
Okay,
right.
it will
Let
be
me let me
void
let me.
of politics, it will be void of partisanship, it will be independently done. Okay, we can talk to our development partners. Okay, they can help us to do this investigation. Liberia,
Okay.
our government is not sophisticated enough to do it. We want to get to the bottom of this.
Oh,
Let it be
oh,
done independently.
okay.
And the government is not in a
So,
position to
okay,
provide that independent investigation.
okay. So let come back to something that make it very effective. Does Liberia have electronic systems? The police department, every department in Liberia, every branch of government, do they have electronics surveillances?
So, can I ask you, what's the intent of that question?
The intent of the question is everything is done systematically, right? Let's for example, uh,
That's what you say.
every
That's
everybody camp.
at least that's not my word. That's your
Let me
word.
say, every police officer wear a body cam. Every calls coming into the department of the police department should be recorded. Everything should have a database where information are stored. Even the police cars, every conversation in the car should be recorded. All right, we don't have the kind of a system. Okay, so then how will you expect somebody to come from outside to follow paper trail? We don't even, I don't know if we keep proper paper trail in those departments. I'm not trying to degrade or downplay anything. All right, but if the systems are there where you have body cams on, you have surveillance cameras all in these offices. They are on 24/7 and recording. You can have those evidence given to, you can have those documents given to the independent investigators where they can take time, right? For every cause, every cell phones that are assigned to a police director or police officers, all those things come to call logs. All right, it comes with navigation system. I'm not look. I don't know if we there, but if we are, then
Yeah,
those are proper documents.
CEO,
Yeah,
you are making at least you are making our point, right? You and myself, we are not investigators. Okay, investigators can start from nothing, and they will find something. Give them the opportunity. Call in independent investigators, people that have no tie to the government, that have no tie to anyone. Call them in. They will do that work. How they know that Joao Howard stood up and talking to these people? How they know that? How they know that
because I
she
think I
can
think
have this
what's
conversation?
happening. I think what's happening here. What happening here is, I think for initial arrest and investigations been going on with those people that are being arrested. I think some of them are talking. I think some of them or most of them are talking. All right.
Right? That's
So
what bring
so so
that's what
so what
bringing
I'm thinking
independent
here,
investigators. Let independent investigator talk to
what
them.
I'm thinking here, what I'm thinking here is the police department, every investigation or everybody that they have investigated or they have questioned, I think the police department do have recordings on those people as evidence of what they have said. And that could be used in the court of law against them or against anybody want to bring charges against. Now, let's let's stop right here. I want us to look at the statement from CDC. They put up a statement, and it's kind of a little bit long, but I think it's important for us to read. I'll just go ahead and read it real quick, and then we'll go ahead and stop. I wish I could put it on the big screen, but can't. Uh, the statement reads: Statement by His Excellency George Manawiya, former President of the Republic of Liberia, political leader of the Congress for Democratic Change, August 19, 2026. Fellow Liberians, what we are all witness today has further revealed the extent of our democratic decline in the last few years, marked by the continuous use of extrajudicial powers by President Joseph Boakai to trample upon the constitutional rights of Liberians who hold opposing views. As you may know by now, former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor has become the latest victim of these rising authoritarian tendencies, which have historically plunged societies, including ours, into chaos. Why we support all legal and judicial efforts to rid Liberia of the current drugs epidemics. We condemned we condemn attempts to use this crisis to score political points. Today, without any prior notice, the former vice president was unlawfully prevented from traveling in violation of a constitutional right to free movement and was subsequently harassed and detained. I have since spoken to the former vice president who has vehemently, strenuously, and categorically declined all the politically motivated allegations being made against her by Boycott administration. In a government statement today, the Justice Minister read out blanket accusations without providing any supporting explanation of how they were formulated. The action by the government comes after two major drugs discovered amounting to nearly $500 million, which officials themselves have admitted were brought into Liberia after we had peacefully handed over power to the Barker administration. Rather than treating the investigation with the degree of diligence and urgency it deserves, the government has instead sought to fabricate and concoct connections to the CDC administration while giving a slap on the wrist to its own government and security officials, many of whom still roam the streets despite being named and accused as true perpetrators. We have continued engagement with several regional and continental leaders to again iterate and underscore them how the rule of law and democracy in Liberia is being systematically undermined and how grave a danger such action poses to our peace and security. Despite a peaceful democratic transition, President Boaga seeks to rule as a tyrant. This we must all resist. Following my engagement, I shall return to Liberia to rally the CDC along with all well meaning Liberians to resist this tyrannical attempt to trample upon our uh, what's it or be joining a democracy using all political and legal means guarantee to us under our constitution. God bless Liberia. George Manawia. From this statement, I, it's anyway, it's a political statement anyway. So he wouldn't say he would have said it was okay to. It, the CDC was always back as standard bearers and vice standard bearers or whosoever in higher positions. Sure, all right, but at least you can criticize how the exercise was done, but to say that the government has not provided any clear um, reasons why she was arrested. I mean, it was clearly stated by the Justice Department that because of ongoing investigation, there are some informations are not going to be said or released to the public. All right, and the broad charges and the charges were levied against her. Now, it is the sole responsibility and right of the CDC to defend their standard bearer, and they should. They should. But what? Look, we all have the right to protest. Okay, and I'm hoping it should be done. It should be done peacefully, but not to disrupt the government or disrupt the country. All right. He could have been speaking from a good intent, but again, I'll let you guys, um, chime in. Edwin, what do you think about CDC statement towards the government um, arresting Madam Joy Howard Taylor?
I mean, CDC responded like they should. So if you're in the political arena, I would respond like the way CDC responded. Again, I'm reserving all my thoughts. I'm trying to be very careful and judicial in this situation.
But is it okay to
I
call the government tyrant?
well, we're playing the propaganda game. Applicationally, I would say more than tyrant, but if I was on the CDC side, I have what's worse for them to tell you the truth. I don't think who writing that stuff, they don't have more bad words than me in it
So,
politically. So tyrant is on the east to tell you the truth. Uh because if we are looking at things vividly and applicationally, they're saying tyrant is more than that because I'm seeing a playbook that was used during Biden's time being used by Barack, attacking all our political opponents. That's why I'm seeing that. I for some reason I can't unsee that. I'm seeing that in that stuff, but I'm reserving my thought for evidence. Like I'm really leaning that they have evidence because
All right.
I'm gonna go very ballistic and I'm gonna be very bombastic on the Braga-led government if they don't have evidence. They better have evidence. You don't think, you don't tarnish this lady. Whatever you want to say, she was married to Chancellor and stuff, but she is not Chancellor. You cannot do association by guilt. This lady had done more good stuff in that country than most Liberian people. She got hospital bed. The picking from Canada that built that library stuff over there. She helped with stuff over there. The lady has done more good than almost all your politicians. So they better have evidence. They better have evidence. That's what I'm leaning.
All right. Let me. So, that what do you come in, Edwin? What if the government comes out tomorrow and prove that Madame Joy Howard Tiller aided in the influx of drugs into the country? What would be your
Let the
reaction?
Lord take his course. Let the Lord
Okay.
take his course because
All right.
all the good she has done, it has been overshadowed by all the bad that she brought into the country.
Okay.
If if they provide the proof, let the Lord take his course. I'm not
Okay.
that one
So,
sided like that.
okay.
Let him treat her according to the law to the max.
Let me ask you another question. How will you determine somebody is a drugs dealer? Can you tell by looking at somebody and say, "Oh, you're a drugs dealer" or not?
Who gonna tell if somebody's a drug dealer? We got banks now over here that are drug dealer. We don't know they were in Kosu. They got a lot of associated and stuff. The bank that you bank with, they're drug dealers, they're arms dealers. They can't tell you. Why? What kind of question is this?
Something wrong with you. But my thing is,
I'm
I don't
telling you
want.
the truth. You said something wrong
No,
with me. This is
no,
the
because
truth.
people think that drugs dealer cannot be good people in
No,
society.
no, 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 no. Drugs
I mean, I'm
dealers,
just
they always, because the goal is if you're doing something, you gotta look at something else. And even the world that we live in right now, we the regular people will look at quote unquote look at as stupid people because we don't go into work every day. Our hour being managed by certain people. But the people very at the top, they're doing something very, very nefarious. So I can't tell you who the drug dealer is. Because they master their skin. Whatever you think the law of a country is, they go the opposite and try to appear indifferent from regular
okay.
people.
But that's why I
That's what
wanted
drug
you to.
dealer is.
That's why I wanted you to keep in mind. And like I said again, let the system place itself. Let give it the best of the best of our ability. Let them play. Let the system work. That the water.
Yeah, CEO. Yeah.
What's
No,
wrong?
everything. No, to be honest with you, everything that Edwin said, I agree with. I agree with. But first, before I speak about this drug issue, you have problem with the CDC communication calling the government a tyrannical government, right? So let's look at the definition of a tyrant.
Mhm.
Okay, a tyrant is someone who abuses authority to control and oppress others. And some of the characteristics of a tyrant: number one, suppress the freedom of speech. Suppress the freedom of speech. Two, intimidate or punish political opponents. Okay. The two things here, Yega Koloba can tell you that. Okay, Yega Koloba is not in the house today because of what he said, okay, about this administration. So they went after him politically and they got him out of the House of Representatives. Okay, three, he know the rule of law. From the very beginning of this administration, they started violating the Liberian Constitution. The Supreme Court will rule. And Mr. President will say, you know what? I agree with my justice minister. I know what the Supreme Court says. Okay, they start getting rid of tenure position people. When Supreme Court ruled, they say we don't get time for Supreme Court. The violation or the abuse of the law of Liberia. Okay. They refuse to accept legitimate criticism. When you criticize them, they get angry and they come after you. So this administration has shown characteristics of a tyrannical government. They have shown that. So I don't disagree with CDC about that. And when Edwin said, what do you expect the CDC to do? They should stand with their vice standard bearer. Okay, not because she's indicted or she's being charged. Charging someone does not mean that they are convicted. Sure. Or they have done it, or they have done what they are being charged of. She is innocent until she is proven guilty. They have to take her to court. They have to prove their charges, which they have not done. At least I forget to mention this. You are asking Edwin. It's like I'm saying, Edwin, you are a criminal. I'm going to arrest you because you are a criminal. I'm not going to give any justifiable reason until I get to court. But as far as I'm concerned, you are a criminal. I don't have to explain myself to anybody. What kind of nonsense is that? Okay? What kind of nonsense? We are not saying show evidence. We are saying justify the reason you are charging her. That's not too much to ask. Okay, just reading out charges. She violated this law. She violated that law. Why? Why you are reading out the charges? Why you are charging her? That's what we're asking. Did you hear that in the press conference? Was that ever mentioned in any press conference? No. They are only charging her because she violated this law, that law, and blah, 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 blah. They did not give any justifiable reason for their actions. And see, you are backing stuff like that. We want a better Liberia. We want a better Liberia. When something is wrong, let's speak to that. Let's speak to that. All the police guardians have been charged and arrested. You saw any of them have been treated the way Joe Howard was treated? You saw any of that? It was Gregory Coleman that was advocating with the justice minister to not treat his people in the public, not camera. But see what they did to our former vice president. What do you think that did to our nation? Even if she's a criminal, treat her with respect, treat her with dignity. She holds the second highest seat in the country. We are bringing our country to public disrepute, and people want us to keep quiet about it. Shame on this government. Shame on them.
Are you speaking of the actual arrest? Or you
I don't go there yet.
Of the fact?
I'm just mentioning that, but I don't go there yet. Okay. Because that is where my anger is. That is where my frustration is with this administration. Okay. When it comes to Liberians, see how they treated Liberians. They took Liberians from their home, they put them outside, they say, you go and sleep in the street. When it comes to their own people, that's when they have the authority, they have the power to do this kind of stuff. Yeah, Guinea to our border. You know, yeah, boy. Guinea right to our border there. The Guineans, they're right there. People in Lofa, people in that place there, they can't go back to their homes. They say all Liberians should keep quiet about it. They don't care. But when it comes to their own people, when it comes to Liberians, that's when they have their authority to exercise. Shame on them. And I tell Liberians to buy this kind of stuff. We shouldn't do this for our country.
All right, gentlemen. So what I would do, Edwin,
It just reminded me of something. I'm in the business of saving my breath. I don't like to talk too much, but it reminded me of something. I think the topic should I just end it. We just go to have like a 15-minute show and be out of here. These people ignore the Supreme Court. These rebel leaders, These rebels, these corrupt people ignore the Supreme Court.
Look,
Now they want law and order, and they say nobody's above the law. I want to slap somebody in that place. Nobody's above the law. That's what they're saying.
all right,
Nobody's above the law. They ignore the lawmakers, the law of the country. They ignore it. This show should have ended a long time ago. That's why when Brian asked me, I said precedence. People stop believing you talking about all the security camera, body camera. Like when we're in America, we get camera in your house. Camera is just a supportive device for your crime when somebody commit crime, but it can't stop the crime. What stop crime is precedence. How you treat people in the community, trust. When you build trust with the community, they trust you. Before that camera capture anything, there was trust. And people trust you, they can come to you and say stuff. Nobody trusts the government. They overturn the biggest law in the country. Now they're telling people nobody's above the law. Then we should believe them. They are so fair in this situation. And you know, Brian, how I think about a sedition.
all right.
I'm not a
So,
sedition. I'm not a sedition. But
all right,
we got to applicate the truth to what the truth is. We got to be
all right,
very judicial in our thinking.
all right. So, uh, okay. I just put the number on the screen, so anybody who is watching or following the show wants to come on, they can call, and then we can take a call from them. Or they want to join us, they can come and join us. But my point here, and I'll keep stressing this one point over and over. I think it's time we put um, aside our differences and look forward to trying to find the perpetrators, or trying to find the state actors and foreign actors who are involved, or who are involved in the movement of illicit drugs in our country. Like I say again, it's upon the government to prove, or to provide proof that these people are guilty. And like I say again, from the way they are sounding, it seems to be like they do have evidence to prove before the court of law. Again, like I said again, we are a democratic form of government. We are a democratic state. All right. Let us trust the process. All right. I understand that we need independent investigators to investigate. Okay. Likewise, we also have a justice department or justice ministry. I'm not saying they cannot be biased, okay, but let them prove to us that the evidence they are providing or provided to the court are legit evidence to prosecute somebody or to find them guilty, right? Like I say again, you can prove me wrong or prove me right. There is no way you can point to a drugs dealer, somebody who's walking down the street, and say, "Hey, Peter or John look like a drugs dealer." No, people disguise themselves. People look. I'm not here to tell uh, people what to do. All right. Some people hide behind things. Okay. I'm not saying, look, if the charges are there, they have the evidence, let them bring it forward. My thing is, our thing here is the country Liberia should be free from drugs. We are not even a developing nation yet, and we having issues with that amount of drugs. Look at the kind of minimum or limited assets we have. Okay, living that country. Let's look at our road network. Let's look at the institution. Look at the aviation. How many major airlines go to Liberia? And we're trying to ruin these expensive airlines. Okay? Something that Liberia have not owned. All right? To fly internationally. And then we want to do that to our own people. or do that to the people who provide services for us. I think this whole issue of drugs and to be arrested, I'm in, I'm in agreement with you guys. They can bring independent investigators, let them come and help with the case. But as for now, what is happening? Let them continue to do what they can do. The investigations, the investigation is not yet over. So whoever we have in mind that the speculations out there that X, Y, and Z are involved, I don't have any evidence to that. Okay? If the state have evidence, if other people have evidence, let them bring it forward to the Justice Department and let the people be prosecuted. That's all we're saying. It has not ended yet. We don't know who's up for arrest next. Again, the country Liberia with limited resources when it comes to providing access for its own citizen, and we find ourselves, or the country find itself in a position and its citizens that is very problematic. And I think, if we want to be a democratic state, let's exercise the democratic process. If we don't want to be, then let us be, and let our country be whatever it wants to be. All right. So, like I said, the phone lines are open. If anybody wants to call, we'll have them call, and if they want to, chip in, they can. And that's the phone number on there: 984-710-6053. All right, Brother Edwin.
I'm here.
All right. So if this investigation come out to be very fruitful, and that's why every Liberian wants, uh, find these people, root them out, and prosecute them. All right. I think the entire process of finding these people will reshape. It will bring. I think this should be able to bring all Liberians together from all different parts of Liberia. Uh, Political parties, we should put our hearts down. This issue of drugs should unite everybody. I think that what should be happening in the country. It should unite everybody because it's not affecting UPS, it's not affecting Silesians, it's affecting Liberians. I think we just need to put the hearts down a little bit and let's think it over. Like, what can we do to make our country better? What can Liberia
Be-
do to
Before
make?
my brother Edwin speak, can I?
Go ahead.
Yeah, CEO. The exact reason for which you are seeing, that's why we are speaking the way we are speaking, right? When we call for unity around this issue of drugs, this platform has been dedicated to the discussion of drugs issue in our country. Even prior to the recent two different bursts of drugs in the country, we've been speaking about illicit substances in the country. We've been doing that. Okay. What will jeopardize this beautiful opportunity we have to address this issue, with setting, I will use my brother, my brother was today, setting the precedents for future action is what we don't want to miss. And the government is doing everything possible. They are doing everything possible to be very, very partial and biased in an investigation. Maybe you just you don't want to see that. Look at just recently, the former LDEA boss, Mr. Swa said in a press conference that there were government officials that were involved in the illicit transaction of drugs. And drugs have money, so they were doing it. The next few days, what happened? He got fired. The immediate recent boss of the LDEA, Mr. Biago, what happens to him? Just the allegation that he received a vehicle from drug cartel. The justice ministry say he have done nothing wrong except for ethic reason. What happens? The government, the president fired him. The, Gregory Coleman said they receive Starlink. They receive Starlink from the cartel. Gregory still has a job. Gregory has vehicles from the cartel. Gregory still has a job. Gregory said there are government officials in the government that are tied with this. He's not been questioned. He still have his job. My question is, what is going on? Why Gregory is being protected by this administration? Why Gregory is being protected? Why Gregory is being so protected? Why everybody else can be fired and Gregory cannot be questioned? Why? CEO, can you please ask that question for me? Why? Can you ask this administration why? What is the reason? Why Gregory is being protected? For what? What is the reason here? Why? Is he above the law? Is he indispensable? Why everybody else is saying exactly what Gregory Coleman is saying, and they have been fired, they've been let go of their jobs, but Gregory still keep his. Then you want us to trust this? And he is very, very involved in the investigation. You will remember, I hope you remember today, they have no evidence against this woman. They will go to court and they will prove nothing. They will prove nothing. You have a very lazy justice ministry. The people, they can't even find information. Okay, they are lazy. They will prove nothing. The only thing that's going to happen is to just tarnish her reputation. That's it. And by the time she's vindicated, I hope she sued the entire government, not to Liberia, but to ECOWAS court. You know, they don't even recognize the Supreme Court anymore. So sue them to ECOWAS court.
Dr. Water, it sounds like to me that you don't believe that the government have any evidence against the former vice president. You are. It sounds like you are too sure. And like I say again, I mean, for me, I don't know. Like I said again, whenever your country comes up to make a certain statement about stuff, the Justice Department is the leading department in a country where rule of law should be exhibited. Okay, so they should practice rule of law, and I don't think anything should be done based on political affiliations.
I like the fact you are saying shoot. Yeah, I agree with you. Look at Fonantic. Look, the people had a press conference. Everybody believes that they have evidence against Fonantic Kofa. Where's the evidence today? You believe them. You can fool me one time, you can fool me two times. No, I refuse to accept that. They will go to court and see the evidence they have.
But Brian, the question you ask is, there's a difference in being opportunistic and being principled. If you're not a principled person, nobody believes you when you try to do something principled. That's the big cloud that's hanging over the government. They're not principled people. So with this case, I'm a judicial person. I'm leaning 50-50 until they can prove what they have. They're not principled people. I sense opportunistic behavior from them, for the opponents. Since we're getting close to 2029, I'm seeing these things. Again, I'm going to leave a room for fairness. I'm 50-50, but they're not principled people. I don't believe any principled people,
So
non-principled person that get out of a sudden became principled. I'm not gonna do that.
let me ask you one more question, and then I after the other question. You think everybody in the Justice Department are political driven, or do you think the people who um, put the case together to level those charges against um, the alleged charges on um, Madam Joe Howard Taylor? You think they did it they because they are sedition, or because they are UPS, because they are politically motivated? I'm just saying there are people who in a department with integrity. There are people who in a department who put the country above their own interests. Okay, they sit there, and that's a responsibility to follow the Constitution and also follow the bylaws and principles of the Ministry of Justice on how to carry out the rule of laws, because the rule of laws starts from them. All right, there are professional people at that place, people with ethical background, people with political background, people with 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 um, the intuition of making sound judgment based on the evidence they have seen. And I think they have lawyers in the department as well, who knows what the law is and how to create or formulate
America
what
is
charges
stuck in your head,
should
man.
be
America,
should be
very stuck in your head.
should be level on these people. So
You
I
see that America
believe
you talking
the
about that?
integrity.
You talking about Liberia?
What do you mean? I talking about like, bro? But that's the same democratic form of government.
Yeah, we are still maturing yet. The government, this government that violated every law in our country, they are the one you talking about. These people that said Joshua people stole billions of dollars and today they can't prove anything. These people that said Joshua were harvesting people's hearts and killing it, they can't prove anything. They in power today. These are the people you're talking about. I hope
I
you
don't.
are talking about different people.
Well, my thing is, like I say again, that's why I don't follow these uh things where people just be spewing around that Joey I was involved in X, Y, and Z. This that look, I I rather follow facts. Okay, if the let's say for example, tomorrow Ministry of Health said they're having a conference, the teaching on prevention crisis or something like that. All right, I'm pretty much involved into it. So I want to listen. I want to hear what the Ministry of Health is going to be, you know, give us as relevant information that we can use. So whatever that department gives us, I want to use it and analyze it and move on. But I'm not going to fear they say, and somebody will be like, oh, there was a person from the Ministry of Health who said COVID-19 is not a disease, or COVID-19 is not killing anybody. I'm not going to go with that. I want to hear from the minister's mouth. If the minister of health come and say, look, we need to wash your hands 6 times a day, and this is the evidence behind washing your hands 6 times a day, and this is how we wait it, and it has been steady, and these are the improvement, and these are the qualities it comes with. Then
See, you
these
you
are
you you you,
information I
you
want to
get you
take.
get you get sort of a bit laugh. That you want the minister of health to tell you why people should wash their hands, but you don't want the justice minister to tell us why they are charging a woman.
No, but
What
but
is
that's the same thing I
behind the
just
charge?
said. But they did. The Ministry of Justice
You,
said
you said
they
you said
said
we
they
should give we
cannot
should
put
give
out
it a chance.
evidence
You said we
now.
should give it a chance. We shouldn't talk. We should keep quiet because you want us to give it a chance. No, us talking doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that they will not do their job. No, they are doing their job. We want them to do their job well because we are paying them. The work they are doing, they're not doing it free. Okay, they have to do it to the satisfaction of Liberians. They are getting our tax pay. They are getting our tax dollars. Our tax dollars is paying for the lives they are living. They are working for us.
Okay, so they have to do the job to our satisfaction. And for where I sit, they are doing a shitty job.
Yeah, but Brian, your question that you asked me, I was just waiting for you guys to talk.
Go ahead.
That there's not everybody in the government, they're just policy, or they don't have an answer looking at stuff in a way that it's not partisan. I tell you, that's a beautiful question. That's a really good question, to tell you the truth. Is there anybody in the government that have argued that certain money need to be assigned to LU, the nation top university, or are they all partisan? Why do they come up with the same exact thing when it comes to when they are assigning the budget, the fiscal budget of this year, 1.2 billion? Nothing is assigned to LU. Are they all partisan? Brian, you out of your mind. Are you trying to secure your safety because you go to Liberia in few time or whatever? You trying to secure your safety? Are you pissing me off on purpose, bro?
No, I'm not. Look, look. Liberia is a nation rule of laws. So let we take it or leave it. We're a democratic state. Liberia,
This is the
we have
best joke you told on the whole show.
what
This
joke?
is
It
the
is
best joke.
true.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is
yeah,
true.
yeah, 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 yeah.
All right.
That was
Let
very funny though. I like it.
what I mean. Look, I think we should trust the process here. Okay. Look, there are some flaws. Okay. There are some areas where weaknesses are there. There are some areas where we'll be controlled by high powers. Okay. Even here in the United States, the Justice Department sometimes they are controlled by the White House. Okay. So these things happen, but on the large scale of a country that is struggling, I think this is going. I think this should serve as a reset for Liberia, where we all can come together and find a reason to unite. I think it should be a a place where the dwellers in that nation can come together and find a reason to harmonize, to grow together.
I saw the guy Brown go to library and be the next Cummings. I kid you not.
No,
I'm
no,
very
no.
serious about
I
it.
give, no, no, no,
You'll be the next Cummings.
no, no.
Because you can't relate to the Liberian people. You
That's,
can't relate to the Liberian
what do you
people.
mean? What do you
You
mean?
like?
I am.
Are you kidding
What are
me,
you talking
brother? Go
about?
go and rewatch this stuff by yourself.
I will. What are you talking
Okay?
about? I'm not. Look, dude. I'm not here for rumors. Okay. The country Ministry of Justice came out with charges. I'm not looking at charges from 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 social media. I'm not looking for charges from political parties who are just creating stuff out there. Okay, if they do have evidence, go. My thing is, there's one thing I want to say too, right? And I think it's necessary for us to do in our country. I think issue. I think the government or the international community should create a safe haven or a safe net for those whistleblowers that want to come in and speak freely, openly, and should be given some kind of benefit, some kind of a protection, witness protection program. I think that should be established. And if we really want to start debugging, if we want to start uh, dismantling those network, we should have something put in place supported by maybe a foreign government or maybe the government of Liberia. Okay, then we can have serious issue coming out. Like, hey, we want to find where this started from and where it's ending. So we want to uh, just dismantle it. And those people found guilty should be penalized severely so that it should be a deterrent so that nobody else can come and do the same tapata in our country. You know. Again, look, I know people are not going to call. If they want to call, fine. But if not, I think we'll end here and then we'll go to our closing statement. But if you have any other thing to say, but let me ask the question, and then if you have any questions, we can ask each other questions if that's the case. Uh, when do you want to see this investigation over, or what else? What else do you intend that is needed to be investigated that will be fair enough? Anything, anything that you
I
think
think
of.
the investigation is a political theater. I think I screenshot send it to you. If a Spoon TV reporter is standing in front of Toyota with some bars on it, calling it a beast,
You're still
this
on.
is a whole drama. You know what I mean? Like I seen one of the police chief stood in front of the camera and said, "Oh, we don't have Starlinks and all this stuff. I don't know. We have." He called the company name that he has over there. I think it's a political theater. I think it's a distraction from something, and they needed a big name to help aid with that distraction. When you hear Bob Naked, he said he traveled around all the country border, no security there. He said God minding the country. There's a lot of important stuff to the Liberian people that this thing is
There was a
being
vice
blanketed.
president.
This thing is being blanketed, right? I have to say this is the major situation that Liberian people need right now, right? The drugs thing is a concern of obviously it's national security, but before this whole drug thing, what were they doing? Before the drug thing came to place, you know what they doing? What the major started doing? They being 1 mile road for the community in 72nd and stuff. What are they doing? So um again, political theater for me. Political theater.
So the water, the same question to you.
Yeah, the IG need to be investigated.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it. He needs to be investigated.
All right. But I personally think that the building in Foya needs to be investigated.
No, I
Uh,
thought you were talking about the
it,
drugs. I thought you were talking
no, no.
about the
I
drugs
mean
too.
anything that the water, anything that you see that is needed to be investigated to make this fair enough and transparent, because you
Right,
can't leave
investigating
that
stuff not
Foya.
gonna make it, not gonna make anything transparent. Okay,
I mean,
look, these issues is just embedded into the system. Okay, and people take advantage of the system. Okay, I really don't know why Gregory Kuma is being shielded, why he's being protected. I really don't know. Okay, the president announced that the issue that happens at the border, what precipitated the Guinean crossing the border, were going to be investigated. CO, do you get any result from that investigation?
no.
The president announced the inaugural funds that was misappropriated are going to be investigated. We did not get any result from that. The president announced, all kinds of things. Look, this is what I'm looking forward to, CEO.
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to then sending Joa Howard Taylor to court and then providing evidence that she is a drug dealer. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to see their evidence. Okay. And they better hurry and send her to court. Okay, because they can't keep her for long. I'm praying for her to recover, for her to be strong, for her to be mentally strong, and then they process her to court so they can provide the evidence they have against her. She has pretty good lawyers. Okay, so I'm looking forward to that. I think that would be my closing, CEO.
All right. All right. So that'll be a closing, brother Edwin. Um, you want to do the closing? I can do my closing, and you close the show.
Oh, you can go ahead.
All right. So, Dr. Waller, Brother Edwin, thank you guys for being here today. I think the discussion is needed, and I'm hoping that next Sunday we can expand on other issues pertaining to the country. I think the Justice Department should be fair in its investigation. Transparency matters the most, and I don't think it should be political driven. I trust the um, men and women in the Justice Department who are going to be reviewing these allegations. I believe they're doing it in good faith for the country, and they are not politically motivated, or they would not receive any call for higher authority to tint the investigation in a way others want to hear. Um, those guys are educated, well learned, um, some who are lawyers, and some who've been in the department for the longest, and some who masters the Constitution and the rule of law of the nation. I think Liberians deserve the best, and the best should come from the leadership, and every example should be done from leadership. If not, then a country, that nation Liberia is doomed. Uh, there are serious issues that need to be addressed in our country, and I think it has been overlooked. And I think it's time that we, or the government of Liberia, or the people of Liberia, put more emphasis in education, educating the people, and protecting the sovereignty of Liberia, and investing into healthcare and technology. We have a long way to go, and again, this issue, I think the issue of drugs should be a reminder or a stepping stone or a reset for our nation. And I believe that this, when it is done, the nation will be healed. Thank you again for listening to us. We appreciate you, and see you next Sunday. Brother Edwin.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you, Dr. Waller and Brother Brown. A little bit tired, but I think our country has seen so much. I don't know. In my strategic thinking, I feel like somebody is stroking the broadcast government for something else. I don't think they are operating with their own mind, to tell you the truth. Um, of course, we sunlight is the best disinfectant for anything. So we want sunlight on crimes and stuff. But if you're seeing a one-way investigation towards anything, if we don't have a precedent for truth, if you say we're gonna ignore the Supreme Court, and now you want to be so truthful on this stuff, and you can't go the other way when they accuse somebody on your side, and people are calling the one guy name, but nobody wants to look that way. You don't want to look this way. This smells. This stinks. And for a country that has so much bad history, I really don't want this for all in the name of where democracy and stuff we trying to be now. No, we don't want it. This is all going to hell. This smells like somebody. It sounds like somebody pushing you towards something from the background. That's how I see it. Minus all the reporting and everything. I see it like you need to get this person, take them from the plane, make a big deal out of it, bring the camera. I don't know how, what would the camera put so within proximity. You gotta think about all that stuff like that. The camera project conveniently in proximity with Joel Howard Taylor and stuff within her going to the airport and stuff. The camera just within proximity. We need to stop thinking. I don't want anything bad for Liberia. I don't want to pit Liberia against anybody. This country has never focused on Liberian people. They've been playing games for outsiders, and Liberian people are at a disadvantage. So we need to open our eyes. The Barker administration, you better have truth. You better have the evidence. If you do not have the evidence, this is going to be very grave. is gonna be very great. Thank you guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.